Welcome to your journey of healing with the Healing Podcast, hosted by licensed clinician Monique Owe and co-host Dr. Amber Mohn.
Thank you for tuning into the Healing Podcast. I'm your host, Monique Owe, and I am joined by my lovely co-host here,
Dr. Amber Mohn.
All right, Dr. Mohn, so let's talk about it. Today's topic is healing. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. Again, that's healing. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. Thank you so much for your support. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we hope this is helping you or someone you know. All right, Dr. Mohn. So when we talk about healing, we know that's kind of getting, being able to overcome something painful, whether it's physical healing or emotional healing. It's just, as we are the Healing Podcast, it is, being able to move past something in a way that is good for you, that it no longer is hopefully doing damage. But as we talk here, I'm saying don't go too fast through the healing, but also don't go too slow. What do you think that means, Dr. Mohn? What do you say?
That means when we talk about don't go too fast, don't take some time out. Don't maybe jump into, if it's like a relationship and you just broke up last week, don't automatically jump into another relationship after a week. If you know that you're not over this person, or, it takes time to kind of make sure that there isn't any unresolved issues, any unresolved resentments. Take your time. Maybe it's, getting to know yourself. If you just in a regular friendship and you just think that you can just, move on with your other friends, even though you've possibly been friends with this person for years, take your time. And then, when it's, maybe not going too slow, just meaning, goodness gracious, okay, you've been out of work for 3 years and you were so burnt from that last job. Okay, when are you going to jump back on the horse? Things of that nature.
Going to happen like that. Okay, yeah. So not delaying the process too much to where when you know it's an issue, I'll go with it too fast. When you're too fast first, when you're trying to heal too fast, when you're trying to rush the process, you want to hurry up and get over whatever the damage was. You want to hurry up and get through the grief. No, you need to grieve. Okay, your body, you're gonna have to grieve. You loved someone, they're no longer there, right? And that's painful. But so don't try to rush it like, I'm good now, I'm over it, I cried, that's it, it's done, we can move, we can talk about something else, no one else could talk about them because you're still, I'm over it. Well, that's not letting them grieve, and because you're trying to rush it, you're not allowing yourself to grieve, you're preventing other people from grieving. That's one example, right? Just trying to hurry up and get through it. And then two, don't go too slow is, don't let it be a lifetime. Don't let that issue that you know has done damage to you and has kind of trickled into other areas in your life, you kind of keep ignoring it, knowing that it's doing damage, but you're just like, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. And you're moving too slow to try to get through it. So here's the thing. Healing is yours to have. You should have it because we do have to heal. We have to get past the thing that hurt us, right? Because that way we can go back to doing the things we used to do or we like to do or experience new things. Let's break it to a physical example. You break a limb or something like that, it has to heal because you can no longer use that limb the same way while it's broken. But once that thing heals and you strengthen it and you exercise it and go through the physical therapy, that thing can come back stronger than what it was. And now you can do things that you used to do and maybe some things that you couldn't do before. Right? So the same thing with the emotional part, Dr. Mohn, is I'm saying, okay, somebody hurt you. There's been some damage done. Whether it's been intentional or not, there's been some damage done in your life, and a part of you is broken from that, right? A part of you is missing from that. You got to heal to get back to a place where you're whole, where you're better, so that you can now experience those things that you liked, or maybe some new things that you might like. But not addressing it is going to keep you stuck, right? It's going to prevent you from doing things. So, Dr. Mohn, I think this one is one of those where it is what it is. Yeah. You can't go too fast, you can't go too slow from it. I think it's the problem is people acknowledging that that's what it is, that they need to be healed. Yeah. Because we all like to say, oh, I'm good, mm-hmm. Right? But I'm good. No, you're not, right? You're not good. But I think it is yours to own. You have to know what's hurtful to you, what has not been. It's not a comparison thing. I don't think you can compare healing, right, Dr. Mohn?
Not at all.
Can't do that.
No.
Because we're different. How the way I cry. I might stub my toe. It's like, oh gosh, it hurt, but another person might cry. Like it. Wow, that really my toe was throbbing. So I think you have to know what you've been through, even if it's the same thing. If you lost a parent and another person lost a parent, the way they grieve through it and the way you grieve through it is different. So the healing is of your own, Dr. Mohn. It's a unique process. Would you say that?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a unique process.
Yes.
So the way you go through too fast and too slow is up to you.
Yes.
Okay. I think one reason people want to rush through it, Dr. Mohn, because nobody wants to experience pain. Who wants to go through that? Hurry up, get me back to what I was. But unfortunately, Dr. Mohn, is there a way to heal fast? Let me ask you that. Do you think is there a way to heal fast?
I'm not going to say no because it depends on what we're talking about.
Okay.
If you lost $1,000 or you're in debt $1,000, it might take you a month or two to get that back, and that might have been hurtful. But
okay,
losing a grandparent or losing something of that nature, losing a close friendship, that's going to take a lot more time probably to heal, a lot more effort and understanding.
Right, makes sense. So I also say I don't think there's a way not to get through something kind of quick, but I think it depends on the work you do. Like I think it still goes back to the physical. Some people might take months to feel through to heal from a broken limb, and some people might just take 1-2 months, maybe depending on the therapy they did. Now that might not have been a great example, but I'm just saying some people, because they did serious work in therapy and intense looking at it within self and acknowledging the problem, they might be able to get through it just a little quicker. But I don't know if there's a fast track. I don't know. I guess I have to be careful with that. It depends on the situation, like Dr. Mohn said. So, but the ultimate goal is we want you to be back whole again because you are missing out from some things. We'll talk about what you might be missing out of or missing out from when we come back because we're going to make a quick segue here. We're going to go into, you guessed it, the situation. Dr. Mohn, what's our situation for today?
Dear Healing Podcast, is it worth cutting someone off because they owe you money? A friend of a friend has lended money to one of their friends. I gave them some money as a loan. It was more than $500. It has now been a year and still no attempts to repay. My friend is thinking she wants to end the friendship. Do you think it is worth ending a friendship? Good question, because I know that people fall out from, money issues all the time.
All the time.
And so I learned at a young age not to loan money that I'm going to miss if you don't give it back. And so for that reason, I haven't lost any friendships. I only understand that, you can't borrow from me anymore. Love you to death. Just because someone loans you money doesn't pay you back money doesn't mean that they're not a good friend per se. Things may be going on in their life, or maybe they just, for some reason, have an issue with money, but they might bring so much other things to the table. So they're losing their friendship might not be, it might not be, it might be worth to keep. You might want to keep them around, but just with that understanding that, you can't borrow money from me anymore though. So with that being said, I think that it should be important I think that you should look at what they bring to the table. If they're a friend who is always asking for stuff and doesn't bring much to the table to you as a friend, then I probably would let it go just because, the $500 could be just a lack, that's just it. But if they do bring more to the table and you can let this $500 go, then I would say no, don't end the friendship. Just don't let them borrow any more money.
Thank you, Dr. Mohn. I appreciate what you said. I agree. I think you have to, don't lend money that you need back because that's where a lot of resentment comes from because you're thinking like you got behind in the bill because this person was supposed to pay you back within 30 days and they never did and now you're behind on something. So now you start to resent them when they take a long time to pay you back because they're not even acknowledging what you're going through now. But I think if you lend money, like Dr. Mohn said, that you kind of, of course we want our money back, but that you're not really missing, that it was just extra money you might have had that you could give. I don't think you have the same resentment. I think you do have to weigh out the friendship. So it's for the question of, do you end the friendship over the money? It depends on how the person is treating it. If they're not even acknowledging that they owe you, and now it's been like, hey, I know I owe you, but please bear with me. That's one thing. If they're being dismissive, like they never even borrowed anything from you, you might have to weigh out that that friendship. But if this is a friend who's been there for you, who's a good confidant, who's been supportive, who will come there for you and be with you, through thick and thin, yeah, I don't think it's worth losing that friendship. So you have to weigh out the relationship. So is it worth cutting someone off over money? Weigh out the relationship and how they have treated what you've done for them. So I hope that's helpful. So I think you got to weigh the relationship. But we know things happen. So hopefully that's been helpful to you or anyone else that you know who's in that predicament. And before we get back into the topic, a word from our sponsor, Healing Expressions.
Are you someone who has been considering therapy? Perhaps someone else has told you that you need to talk to a therapist. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you want to discuss some challenges that you've been facing with your significant other. Maybe there's a communication issue, perhaps an incident of infidelity. Or maybe you just want to strengthen your relationship because you guys are thinking about taking another step. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety or depression, perhaps grief, life stressors, and you just want to share your thoughts with someone. Well, consider contacting Healing Expressions. Healing Expressions is a private practice located in the Atlanta, Georgia area. You will be given a session at an affordable price with a licensed therapist. If this resonates with you, consider going to healingexpressionsllc.com, reading about the practice, and hitting the contact tab to see if you can book a session. All right, thank you so much. And back to the Healing Podcast.
Okay, so getting back into the topic of healing, don't go too fast, don't go too slow. Before the break, I was talking about, what does it look like when you're not healed? How to recognize, why do I need to heal? Well, because you might be missing out on stuff in your life. When you're not healed, you're probably going through some things like you might be depressed. Dr. Mo, what's something else you might be if you're not healed?
Just negative, on edge, irritated, angry.
Yep. You might be annoying to be around because you are that way, right? We talked about an episode where we said misery loves company. Well, those many times are people who miserable people are many times people who have not been healed. So as you see, healing causes you to miss out on relationships. It causes you to miss out on opportunities. It causes you to miss out on good things in your life because you are carrying around this weight and it's preventing you from moving forward and to experience new things. So that's another thing to recognize. How do you know you're not healed? Well, one, do you get angry still about the situation? That thing when it comes up, Dr. Mohn, right? That person or thing or whatever, and you think about it, that person, somebody mentions that person's name, does it bring you back to a place of anger, hurt? Do you start crying right away?
Right.
Probably not healed, would you say, Dr. Mohn?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, do you like feeling that way? If you don't like feeling that way anymore, Dr. Mohn, I think that means they probably need to heal, right? And the thing is, work through it. Acknowledge what they did. I think one thing I have, Dr. Mohn, I see that people do even in therapy, they want to act like the pain they experienced was not painful. And that is not a way to get through it. You have to acknowledge what that person did to you. The betrayal, the damage, the lying, the stealing, the cheating. It was painful. It hurt you. Whatever that pain was for you, you have to identify it. But you got to acknowledge that, okay? Don't brush it under the rug. I'm okay. It is what it is. It's life. No, yeah, life happens, but the pain, it was painful. It hurt you. Would you say that's fair to say, Dr. Mohn?
Yeah. So are you saying that when you're in these therapy sessions that you have to be a little vulnerable? It's okay to be a little vulnerable?
Yes, it's okay to be vulnerable in those therapy sessions. You got to be a little vulnerable. Well, please don't hide it from the. If you go to therapy hiding stuff from your therapist, that probably is not a good thing. You're probably not good.
I understand that happens a lot.
It does. And my thing is, if you connect well with that therapist, and now if you're not connecting with your therapist, please get another one, okay? But if you're connected well with that therapist, but you're still hiding that one thing, that maybe share it, because maybe they can help you get through it. It's not automatic. It's not a switch. We're not saying you go in today and you're fixed, but you might have to process the pain that person caused you or that thing caused you so that you can move past it, I'm not saying you have to dwell in it. I mean, Dr. Juan, we say every day the person's going to be stuck for a year.
No.
Right. It might be a good session where you talk about what that person did to you. And sometimes it might be, you might even get a chance of, guess what? You might even get a chance to confront the person. That depends, though. Again, you have to be in a place for that, because if you're not in a good place to do that and you confront someone too early before you're ready, their response or lack of response can do more damage.
Yes.
Because just because you're ready doesn't mean they're ready to acknowledge. Okay? So you have to be ready for that. But anyway, I just want to make sure people, you don't we want to make sure you don't rush through your healing process. Okay.
Yes.
We all have to heal from something, I think.
Absolutely.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Do we all have to heal from something?
Yes.
We all got to heal from something.
If there is somebody out there who hasn't been through anything, please call so we can talk, because I want to know if you're living in a bubble.
Right.
Absolutely.
Let us know. We got to talk to you because you are the magic person. You are the unicorn out here. Okay. Dr. Mohn, anything about this topic? All right. So we thank you for listening to us. And here, I'll leave you with this. You cannot find peace by avoiding life. Okay. So you cannot find peace by avoiding life. And that is by Michael Cunningham. We thank you so much for tuning into the Healing Podcast. We thank you for your support and hope you like, share, and subscribe. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.